What's going on, guys? It's Mike and Corey, and we're back here with a holiday episode of the Long Island Gamers podcast. Just sitting down here, finally taking a break from the holiday season, all the games that are coming out, to sit here and talk about some of the games that are going on and some of the stuff that's been going on in the industry over the last few weeks between podcasts. So, of course, I'm Mike, Corey's here, and I guess we'll start off like we always do, diving straight in to what we're playing right now. And I think I know some of the stuff you're playing, Corey, but go ahead and tell the people listening what you're getting into right now.
As people watching, they know that I'm doing the Red Dead series right now in Call of Duty. I am currently waiting on Christmas to get my Switch to play all those types of games. So whenever I get my hands onto it, there'll be some videos for that. Gotcha.
How you liking Red Dead so far?
It's really good. I need to play more of it. I need to get more back into it and everything. I'm not really far into it, but from what I've played, the game is fantastic.
Right. And, of course, still got COD going on in the background as well, right?
Yeah, because why would I not play COD? It's it's the best series, best franchise ever.
Strong statement.
Well,
strong statement.
That's what I gotta say, man. I gotta.
What do you think the best franchises out there of all time? Go ahead and leave a comment. See if Corey agrees with it.
Yeah, if it's not Call of Duty, I'm not gonna agree with it.
Okay, cool. All right, that's awesome. I look forward to seeing all the dislikes on this video. That's gonna be great.
Ooh.
I have been playing kind of a mix of games. I went ahead and picked up Let's Go Pikachu between this podcast and the last one. Got that one done. I actually ended up buying both Eevee and Pikachu for some unknown reason, but I have both. I finished Let's Go Pikachu, like the main storyline, getting the 8 badges and the Elite Four and champion. Did all that. Finished that last week. I want to say last week or the week before, so that was pretty fun. Now I actually went and picked up Black Ops 4 because it was on sale earlier this week at Best Buy. So it was a great chance to go and pick that up on the cheap and start playing around with that. It's a little different than I thought it was going to be. I expected it to feel a little faster, and I think that's something we'll talk about a little later when we both go over our thoughts on the first competitive, I guess, series, the first stop in the CWL over in Vegas. I guess we'll talk about that and kind of some experiences I had with that. But also got Smash, and that has been a fantastic experience so far. Had some frustrations here and there, but really enjoying Smash 4. And if you don't mind, Corey, I'd love to talk about that game a little more now that we're coming off about a week since the game came out, if you don't mind.
Yeah, enlighten me, because I'm going to need to know a lot of stuff for when I play on Christmas, so...
Well, the game is awesome. I will say that. The game is really nice. It looks fantastic. It's I made the comment to someone, if you had told me when I was a kid, when I was playing this game on the Nintendo 64, that I'd be playing this game with such incredible graphics, with this tremendous roster, only about 20 or so years later, my mind would be blown. It's really impressive just seeing all the different names and all the different franchises represented when this game came from its roots of having only like 12 to 16 characters. I can't say if it was 12 or 16, but roughly a very small, just over a dozen characters at your disposal, to what it is now, where you're starting off with, of course, the original few characters when you first get the game, but as you keep playing, you get up to over 70, which is just incredible. Played through, I would say I've logged about 10 to 15 hours on it so far, between doing the World of Light mode, which I won't go into any spoilers on that, don't worry, but between the World of Light mode and just doing classic mode, just playing through the little 6 or so battles there for each character. It's been a fun experience. I will say my only complaint is I do feel like some of the fighters have been tweaked a little, where some I felt I was a little more comfortable with, and it could be rust, but it does feel like some of the moves of some of the characters have been adjusted and tweaked a little bit. Marth is definitely one of them. He was really strong, but now he's I'm noticing there's just he's a little off from where he used to be. But other characters, like I'm main with Cloud right now, and I'm starting to learn Richter from the Castlevania series. Trying to learn him, kind of like his style. I like some of his moves. I wanted to kind of play around with him. The only other complaint I really have is with World of Light mode, and without going into spoilers, I find that there are two issues. One, it does get a little repetitive in terms of what you're doing. I think it's creative what they're trying to do, and implementing the spirits into it and how they have a weakness and I guess you would say a resistance. One is stronger against the other, and so on and so forth. But after a certain point, it does get a little repetitive. Like, I could only play that mode for like a half hour to 45 minutes at a time before I kind of got bored with it and walked away. The other issue is the game, I feel, is a little, excuse the language here, some of the challenges are a little bullshit, where it just feels like some of the challenges are intentionally made the way they are to prolong length because they expect a player to not be able to do it in the first try or the second try. So it just, I feel like there's this difficulty spikes are significant, even when you do have spirits that do match up to that are stronger than the spirit I guess you're facing and things like that. That was my only issue. I will say the other issue is, which I find interesting, is once you've unlocked everyone, so you can unlock characters through World of Light mode, or you can unlock them through just playing the game and doing like classic mode and all that. What I find is for me at least, maybe I'm the exception here or something, I find that when I got to the point where I realized I had everyone unlocked, I kind of just said, all right, it's fine, I guess. I decided just to take a break and stop playing World of Light mode, because there was really no point to try and keep playing through it because I've unlocked all the characters. I pretty much done what I need to do. I will say I'm at the end of the mode and I just don't have any real motivation to go ahead and finish it out because some of the stuff does get a little frustrating. I'm kind of just like, I done what I need to do. I'm going to focus on learning some other characters, maybe dabble online and just have some fun with some of the offline stuff. But in the grand scheme of things, I think it's a fantastic entry. I am always weary of the perfect game, 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5 stars rating, because I don't feel any game is perfect. I do think it's a very strong game. I think it's a very strong 9. If I were to give it a rating myself, I think it's a very strong 9. I think the only shortcoming is, in my opinion, just how World of Light mode feels. It just feels tremendously repetitive. It's not quite as bad as Subspace Emissary from Smash Bros. Brawl. Not quite to that level, but it does get repetitive. I kind of lose interest after a while, and some of the elements, which I'm not going to go into any specifics, but some of the elements just, I don't think work for the kind of game Smash Bros. Is. So that's my only complaint. So again, no game is perfect in my opinion. That's why I don't like 10s and 5 stars. But I do think it's a strong 9. I think those are the only little areas, but overall the product is fantastic. Really a slap in the face to current culture when it comes to gaming of, well, let's go ahead and release a couple characters, and then the rest can be behind paywalls, DLC, things like that. You're getting 70 roughly fighters, 70 plus fighters out of the box. Then you got the Fighter Pass, which we already seen at the Game Awards, which we'll get to later as well. At the Game Awards, you saw Joker from Persona is going to be added to the game as one of those 5 fighters. So you're getting that value as well. So when I hear people say, well, you still got DLC, it's like, well, yes, but at the same time, you're getting such a value with all these fighters you can unlock strictly through gameplay. Then you have PD Piranha for those who bought the game. I guess basically when it came out, you do the Nintendo reward stuff, get that. And then you get Joker from Persona as well through the Fighter Pack, which is now available. So I think so far the game is really good. I haven't done the online yet, haven't had a chance to, but so far I'm enjoying the game. So I probably will play it tonight when I have a few seconds. Just keep working on Century Smash mode and try and use every character and beat the 100 fighters in that mode. So sorry for rambling there, but I really like that game.
I could tell.
It's a good game. It's fun. I think we'll have fun with it when we play with each other. It's a fun game. Mechanically, it's good. I really enjoy it. So,
I haven't played any Smash in so long.
what was the last
So,
Smash
you
you
know.
played?
I want to say Bros, right? Or Brawl, whatever it is.
Brawl.
Whatever.
So it was on the Wii. So you played
Yeah.
on the Wii, basically.
Yeah. Well, I
Okay.
played on the Wii for like 2 times, but
Mhm.
that was the last one I played.
Right.
The one on the GameCube, I played the most because I had a GameCube and
Right.
it was mine. But I never bought Brawl myself, so I
Yeah.
never had a chance to play it.
I've actually owned all 5. I mean, they disappear over time. I think I still have. I have Melee on the shelf. I have Brawl on the shelf, and I have 4. So I have all of them, but the first one. The cartridge is somewhere in my possessions. It's somewhere. I don't know where I put it, but I've played all of them. I still love Melee. I think Melee was fantastic. 4. Well, I guess yes. Super Smash Bros. 4 Wii U and 3DS was really good as well. I enjoyed that. Of course, first one holds a good place in our hearts because of nostalgia, but Brawl I just didn't quite enjoy as much. Now, I think that was because maybe I didn't have the game at the time at launch. I played it when I was in college with people in like the common area when we'd have like little tournaments and stuff. I'd play it then, and I'd played a little at work. So when I used to work at GameStop, so maybe I didn't have a lot of experience with it to really appreciate it. But once I did get my hands on it, it was all right. It kind of just tided me over until I got Smash Bros. 4. But I've owned all of them. I'm really glad I owned this one. This was worth running out first thing in the morning, going to get it, and then doing a quick reaction video of like kind of opening up, cracking it open, getting a feel for it. I really enjoy it. I enjoy using Cloud from Final Fantasy, one of my favorite new characters in the game, but I still go back to my boy from Melee, Roy, from the Final Fire Emblem series, one of my favorite fighters to use. So
Yeah,
I
I
can
like
rant
Fox
about
the most,
I
and
could
Melee
rant
is
about
the
that all
best
day.
one by far.
Melee's really
is the
good.
best one.
It's
the one I
really
played
good.
the most.
I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. But one thing that I was thinking of when you brought up Red Dead was the Game Awards and just what we saw at the Game Awards, which were, I want to say, almost 2 weeks ago from when we're recording this. Yeah, so we had the Game Awards. That was really fun to watch. I sat through and watched the whole thing. Well, let's be real here. I watched it while I was racing because I also do iRacing as well. So I had it on one screen, kind of just like had it on, but also racing. So that was my little whatever there. But I wanted to talk about the Game Awards a bit because those were really interesting because we saw Red Dead Redemption 2 and God of War pretty much just go blow for blow with each other during that award ceremony. They were the titans of that show this year. Like, good Lord, it was impressive.
Would we say like what we were like 30 minutes in, Red Dead was winning, and you're like, oh, here's the Red Dead show.
Oh, I was just like, welcome to the Game Awards presented by Red Dead Redemption 2 because it was just getting ridiculous. Like, now, for the record, I've watched people play Red Dead Redemption 2. I've heard nothing but fantastic things about this game, rightfully so, and the same for God of War. I've heard nothing but fantastic things about God of War. It was just really interesting to see starting out how strong Red Dead Redemption 2 was out of the gate. I mean, coming in, Red Dead Redemption 2 and God of War were tied in terms of nomination with 8 apiece. So that was already incredible in itself. And then to start the show, Red Dead was just like clicking off the awards. And it was just like, good Lord, is there even a reason to keep having the show? Why don't you just put the dude on stage in a chair and just hand him the trophies instead of having him walk back and forth? So that was really interesting. I think it really just showcased the kind of like high caliber games we've gotten because we've heard from the likes of EA where they're like, well, single player games aren't really like the thing gamers want right now. God of War is a single player game. Red Dead Redemption 2, now mind you, you do have the Red Dead Online aspect of it, but starting out, you're playing through, at least when the game first came out and now that Red Dead Online is a thing, starting out, you have the story, and they built a tremendous story full of rich characters in a rich environment. Again, a single player experience. So I think what we saw at the Game Awards was a slap in the face to the mindset of, well, everything needs to be a game as a service. People aren't interested in single player games because people loved God of War, people love Red Dead Redemption 2. So I think that is what this award ceremony, that's the message it really sent. The message was so powerful, it caused Corey to just pause and really reflect on what I was saying. He just had to like process that and just think about it for a bit.
Well, what was it like? There was they weren't even nominated for one of those nominations or trophies, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm drawing a blank right now. I don't know why, but they weren't even nominated for one of them. And I remember I was like, oh, and I was reading it off, and then because you were racing at the time, and you were like, don't worry, Red Dead will win.
Oh, because I was like sitting here just after they started winning at a certain point, I just started like making the joke of they're going to start winning like categories they aren't even nominated for, like Best Independent Game, Red Dead Redemption 2, Best Mobile Game, Red Dead Redemption 2. Congratulations, we just announced a mobile version of Red Dead Redemption at the same time. You kind of just get flippant at that point and just go, oh, Jesus Christ. And again, it was not me kind of like trashing Red Dead. It was just me just kind of just being flippant about it and just saying, all right, we get that this game is just going to rack up the awards, but you always kind of wonder who is going to be that game that just kind of dethrones them. And we saw that with the Game of the Year title. Now, I will say I was blindsided by that. It just kind of knocked me a little back, but I will get to that. I don't know how much of the show you watched. I watched the whole thing. I don't know how much you actually saw.
I didn't watch much, maybe like half.
Okay.
There's 2 awards that I'm surprised that team, because I know I follow esports a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you're not like the biggest into it, but like you still know. But I'm actually surprised that the esports game, like the esports game, didn't go to League. Instead it went to Overwatch. Yes, I know both are huge,
Mm-hmm.
but like you go on Twitch, League is higher than Overwatch. Sometimes Overwatch is higher. But like the prize fund, I think throughout the year is Dota with number 1, then League.
Yeah.
And then I'm not sure after that.
Right.
But like, I know that the championship in the Barclays Center for Overwatch was huge. Don't get me wrong, I know that, but I don't know, because you also had the League. They won the best event or whatever, so that also adds to it. It's like you had the best event, but you're not the best esports. I don't know. It's just a little opinion.
I think when you get into these awards, you have to kind of look at it in a way of just because maybe you're great at one thing doesn't necessarily mean they're not mutually exclusive. Sort of like with Red Dead, where when you look at Red Dead, it racked up so many awards, but it still came up short of Game of the Year. So people could argue, well, how can you give Red Dead, let's scroll up here, I got my computer going here.
God of War had the same amount, so...
Well, they had the same amount, but what I'm saying is, okay, how can you say one game that's racked up these awards and beat God of War in the same category is not Game of the Year? So that's kind of what I'm trying to say. Like, all right, for example, best audio design, Red Dead Redemption beat God of War in that category. So, but then you go over to the other category, best game direction, God of War defeated Red Dead Redemption in that category. And then you go over to, make sure I'm just kind of bouncing around here. Best performance, Roger Clark as Arthur Morgan, Red Dead Redemption 2, defeating Christopher Judge as Kratos in God of War. So you see that back and forth, but it's like, well, you're saying that this game is great, but it didn't win all the awards it was nominated for. So it's kind of that weird balance there. So I can understand why the judges picked Overwatch for that, because perhaps they're seeing the growth that they're making in terms of maybe accessibility and drawing in new players, the growth of their Overwatch League, and the growth of their esports brand. Things like that. That could be taken into consideration. I don't think
I know both. I don't follow both of them a lot, but I know Overwatch is on the rise, so I do know that.
It definitely is. And when you look at all these games, like Dota 2, another tremendous esports game. Fortnite, a rising esports game, still finding its direction. But again, you can't discount the presence it's had in the esports community. CSGO, again, basically a pillar of competitive esports right now. And then League, another pillar of esports. So all these games are rightfully so to be nominated. I think it's a situation where you look at it, and I heard this said about the game of the year for the Game Awards. You look at it and you go, you see, say Overwatch win, you go, well, I could have seen it be this, but it's fine. You're not mad about it. Well, at least me. It's like, you're not mad about it because you can see the case being made for why this is the best esports game. Just like you can see definitely the case being made for why God of War is best game. If there was a way they could give both Red Dead and God of War the trophy, I bet they could have. They would have. I think both of them did a tremendous job in their overall performance. But as they say, someone's got to win and someone's got to lose. And I've seen people say God of War brought the complete package together. Not saying that Red Dead didn't, but it's just perhaps the narrative storytelling was even more stronger, or the immersion factor of drawing people into the game, things like that. Just a little intangibles maybe set it over the edge by a little bit for the judges on the panel for this award show. But the one thing I did want to bring up about the award show as a whole, Jeff Keighley, who's been kind of spearheading this for the last few years, I want to go ahead and go on a record and say this was the best show they put together overall. This was an incredible production. It just felt like this is a show that truly represents what gaming is all about. It shows gaming in the strongest, I don't like to say strongest light because it makes it sound like it's a negative light. It put gaming on a stage where I think it can definitely be taken seriously and not seen as this little kiddie thing. It was great seeing the three game studios, the three big game console makers on stage together. That was fantastic, seeing Phil Spencer, Reggie Fils-Aimé, and Sean Layden together, which is awesome. That's phenomenal for our industry. Seeing all the different celebrities, seeing your YouTubers, your content creators be on stage and recognized as part of this show was awesome as well. I think another aspect of it was when they brought the orchestra in, the Games Awards orchestra. As I've said before, I think I've said it on the podcast before, I love video game music. I think it's underappreciated. I think the work that goes into these games and the scores and the music that is used to set the tone for these different games is highly underappreciated. And to hear the Game Awards orchestra just play these tremendous tunes and play these tremendous songs on stage with the full orchestra, we heard with at times Hans Zimmer leading, was phenomenal. There's one song, I call it the Red Dead Suite, where they brought together some singers and some artists and had a phenomenal performance on stage. I about crashed my car during the race because I was getting into that song. It was so awesome. And they had Reggie Fils-Aimé talking to Jeff Keighley, and then they transitioned into Lifelight, the theme song for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. It was phenomenal. It was a phenomenal production. I think of all the years that he's done this, this was the year that really should be used as an example of what this award show should look like, how it should be presented. I think the only thing that the only thing they should adjust is maybe the number of awards we see during the show. There was a lot of things that were kind of in that pre-show section about a half hour before it started. And I'm okay with that to an extent, but at the same time, I still think if we have a couple more awards during the actual show, that would be a little better. They did cut down on the in-show advertising, like these breaks where they had a few years ago where they had Schick Hydro Bot talking to people and whatever. I felt that broke the flow of the show. This was a lot better. Yes, we did have those commercial breaks where we saw games that were on sale. I think that's completely appropriate. This show was really, really a strong production. I know how the internet likes to crap on things and go, oh, it's the Game Awards, memes everywhere. Okay, yes, we can make jokes here. Of course, we got the voice of Kratos. He got to say his line on stage, which was awesome. Reed boy. That was great. I was like, yes, that is the entertainment I've come here for. And we had some whatever moments, but overall, I think it was a great show. I think he put on a phenomenal show. I look forward to seeing how much this show evolves in the future to the point where it does become almost considered like the Oscars or the Emmys and things like that, where it's like seen as a true award show that represents the industry it's serving, which here it really, I think, put the game industry on the map. It was really, really well done. That's my love letter to the Game Awards 2018.
Are you sure you don't want to add anything else to that love letter?
I will add a after show episode to the channel where I just sit here and talk for 2 hours about how great that one song from Red Dead was.
Good voice on the Reed boy, you know? Yeah, really good attempt.
Oh, of course, but I'm going to have to put the actual clip in probably right about here.
Reed boy.
And then that'll work.
Oh, okay. Another award, though, that I thought somebody else was going to win was, I follow CSGO, so I thought that the best esports team was going to go to Astralis, the CSGO team, but it went to Cloud9 League. Now, I don't know too much about League other than Optic because that's the team I follow. I follow all of Optic. It doesn't matter if obviously COD is my number one, but
right,
all the other ones too. But I don't know how League is, so I don't know how Cloud9 is. But I do know Astralis CSGO wins. It's just like every tournament they win.
Right.
When I look at any CSGO tournament, it's like, oh, them again, them again. So I don't know. I just thought that, like you said about the esports event, you know, there's a lot that goes into it, obviously, but I mean, if you're winning every event,
That's true.
So, it was just my thought. Obviously, like I said, I don't know too much about League, so I can't really commit onto that or comment on that. But
I
think if you're winning a lot of tournaments, man.
I think what's interesting is after all these award shows, even other ones like the Grammys and the Oscars and all these different award shows that are more mainstream, sometimes when something doesn't quite win, you always wonder, like, what drove them to make that decision? I think the Game Awards are a prime example of what drove them to make that decision. For example, like, I always come in to the Game Awards when it comes to the sports racing category. Years ago, sports and racing were separate categories. Now they've kind of like mashed them together. And as a racing fan, I love my racing games. I always say a racing game will never win again because it has to go up against Madden and it has to go up against 2K. So, well, let me rephrase that. 2K referring to NBA 2K, the series. So when you look at that category this year, it was Forza Horizon 4, FIFA 19, forgot about that, FIFA as well, Mario Tennis Aces, NBA 2K19, and Pro Evolution Soccer 2019. Right there, I automatically assume 2K is going to win. Yes, I know 2K has had their issues with the whole microtransactions and the VC, virtual currency issues, where people got really pissed off about that. But at the end of the day, 2K just, for some reason, has this extremely loyal following, and they're able to win these awards. Then about Wreck my car again when they said Forza Horizon 4 won. I was like, really? Mind you, it's a great game. It's a fantastic game. It's probably their best Forza Horizon yet. I just thought it was going to skirt under the radar and no one was going to give it any credit for being a really strong entry, especially going against FIFA, which FIFA has its issues, but at the end of the day, FIFA still for some reason is considered this fantastic game, even though it's a carbon copy of itself for the last 3 years. Just to see different games win, it makes me wonder, well, how did you come at the decision as a Forza fan that Forza Horizon was better than 2K19? Or let's see, what was the other one that kind of caught my eye? I can't find it. Yeah, best ongoing game. This one was interesting to me because I think there are a lot of stories when it comes to best ongoing game. First off, unique category. I like that idea where it basically brings games that have come out already, like beyond the awards ceremony time, and brings them back kind of for recognition for continuing to innovate and expand on their product. So you had Fortnite, Destiny 2, Forsaken, No Man's Sky, Overwatch, and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. All those games have unique stories. Fortnite, of course, we know it's the freaking viral sensation that just has swept the nation and has infected the youth of today, where everyone's flossing everywhere. Destiny 2, trying to rebound from a shaky launch of that game and a lackluster kind of DLC, trying to get back going through with Forsaken. No Man's Sky going from, as everyone jokingly called it, No Man's Lie, where there was nothing to do, to the No Man's Sky where we have No Man's Sky Next on the consoles, and we're looking like we have a stronger product and more things for people to do. Overwatch, of course, continuing its momentum from its launch a few years ago, becoming a tremendous esport and things like that. And Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, where this Tom Clancy game was kind of not well received, but they stuck with it, which is unusual for a Ubisoft game. They stuck with it and kept working with it and listening to their community and making it into a really good game that's kind of rebounded from kind of where it was to be a pretty good game, and people are really enjoying it again. For Fortnite to win, it makes me wonder, are we crediting it because of its constant content updates every few weeks? Does that make it a stronger ongoing game? Or are we looking at it purely because of its virility, how viral it went during the year that makes it a great ongoing game because its viral nature has caused it to continue to gain players and things like that. So I always wonder what the judges are thinking when they make their decisions. But overall, I don't think I disagree with a lot of the decisions that they made with this Game Awards in terms of their picks for nominations and for winners.
That category though, Destiny, it was like Destiny 1. You get through your levels pretty quick, then after that there wasn't anything to do. Yeah, you could make another character, but it's repetitive. Right. And then they took too long for different raids to come out or something like that. And realistically, you play the game, you level all the way up. You stop playing the game, and then when a new raid comes, you play however a week before or something like that. Get ready for the raid, do the raid, and then stop playing. And
right.
Another one, it's just the same thing. Rainbow Six Siege is actually really fun to play, but it's not the funnest to play solo. If you have people to play with, it's absolutely one of the funnest games ever.
Right.
But and then Fortnite. If Fortnite went up for the game of the year, Fortnite would have won, just because. I
don't think it would have.
No, I don't think it would have either. I mean, let's be honest, Fortnite can't touch God of War or Red Dead. It's a totally different game, obviously, but
I think where it was going to win. I think if you put it up against, let's say, all right, let's play this fun game then. I mean, if you put it in this category, it's going against God of War, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Celeste, Marvel Spider-Man, Monster Hunter World, and Red Dead Redemption 2. What a tremendous roster of games, including an awesome indie game in Celeste. What a roster that it has to go up against.
Yeah.
And for Fortnite to win that first off, I wouldn't want to go on the internet after that.
No,
I
wouldn't either.
I would log out of Twitter and just let that dumpster fire go on for a little while before I come back. But I think Fortnite would win in the category it's in. I don't think it's Game of the Year material, just because while it went viral, I don't think the virility of a game determines if it's Game of the Year. I don't think a game becoming mainstream news makes it Game of the Year material. I think that a game needs to be the complete package for it to even be considered Game of the Year. And when you look at all these games, all of them have in some way, shape, or form the complete package. While some may be weaker in some areas than others, I think all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, math is hard. All 6 titles that are in the Game of the Year category really represent the category. Whereas Fortnite, I think, is a fantastic ongoing game. And I would have to look this up, and you can talk for a minute while I double check this, but if it's an ongoing game, it implies that it was nominated last year. That's how I interpret ongoing game.
It was like what, a year ago, the 14th, December 14th. A year ago from December 14th was the first time season 2 came out. So a season 2 came out, which meant like the first time a battle pass came out.
Right.
So I don't know if they were early enough for the event.
Fortnite was nominated for Best Multiplayer last year and lost to PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
Yeah, okay.
So it was nominated for one category last year, and yeah, it lost to a PUBG. Now, what's interesting is
they switched,
but I'm just reading this. It mentions in the game announcements. I'm just looking on Wikipedia, everyone, so forgive me for not being a spring chicken and just knowing all this stuff off the top of my head. It's like Barbara Dunkelman said over at Rooster Teeth. When you're on, you're just kind of like going with the flow and whatever. That's kind of where I am now. It mentions that Fortnite was part of the game announcements, so it makes me wonder, which I don't think this is right, is this referring to Fortnite Save the World?
Well, Save the World is a single player, so
that's what I'm saying. So so this was Fortnite Battle Royale that was nominated for Best Multiplayer.
Actually, it's not single player, but it's like
it's
more
not
of a story mode. It's just defending.
Yeah, but it's still multiplayer, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Right. So it just makes me wonder: was this part of was it that was nominated, or the actual Battle Royale mode? I mean, I'm sure the internet will tell me. Will tell me that I'm wrong.
I think either or wouldn't have won anyway.
Right.
But I mean, obviously, I say it as a joke that Fortnite would be Game of the Year. It's just a joke that it's like so popular. It's like it'll win anything. Like
Fortnite has won a lot of awards, though. Not to make this a Fortnite podcast, because then we'll move on to the some other stuff. But I'm looking at their page right now. They've won a lot of things.
Season 7.
I played only like a couple games. I mean, I have no problem with Fortnite. I watch people play it, but I won't play it myself. It doesn't really catch my interest. Why don't you like Season 7?
I don't know. I don't like the snow, to be honest. And
that's a really minor reason not to like a game.
And helicopters. I saw some guy using a balloon 3 balloons to fly it somewhere. It's like
that sounds fun.
It doesn't look good. I don't know. I mean, Fortnite for me was fun at first, but like, I don't know. Battle Royale gets really repetitive for me, and it's just, I don't find interest. Like, don't get me wrong, I can go into Fortnite right now and play and love it because I haven't played it in forever.
Right.
But I can't play it solo anymore. I don't know. Like, if my friends was like, "Yo, let's play Fortnite," I would jump onto and play.
Right.
But that's the only way I would play.
I got you. By the way, Fortnite was nominated for a number of awards this year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. About a dozen awards, and it won 7 of them. This year alone. Last year was only nominated for Best Multiplayer at the Game Awards. This year was nominated for over a dozen awards, ranging from Best Visual Effects in a Real-Time Project to People's Choice Award for Best Multiplayer Competitive Game to the Golden Joystick Awards of Best Competitive Game and Ultimate Game of the Year. And all right, that's fun. And at the Game Awards this year, it won Best Multiplayer Game, Best Ongoing Game, and was nominated for Best Mobile Game and Best Esports Game.
What won Best Multiplayer Game? Because I was sad that Call of Duty didn't win it.
This year?
Yeah.
Fortnite.
Boo.
You didn't know that?
Call of Duty is so much better.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
well, we've been over
opinionated.
this.
That's opinionated. It's not fact. That's opinions.
We've been over that. All right. Well, I feel like that is your like nudge in the shoulder for me to like shut up about the Game Awards and move on to Call of Duty. So we'll go ahead and just.
I wasn't going that way, but okay.
That's how I'm interpreting it because I'm being I am nervous about pacing the show correctly. So we can go ahead. Let's talk about Call of Duty because was it last weekend? Not this past weekend, but the weekend before.
It was the 7th to the 9th.
Yes. We watched, and make sure I'm saying this correctly. We watched the CWL Vegas somethings. The CWL Vegas, what is it? Just tournament?
Las Vegas Open.
Open. Okay. So I wanted to say open, but I was going to be wrong.
Yeah. It's like 6 opens, and then there's like season 1, season 2, champs, and stuff like that.
This kicks off the season for Call of Duty in Black Ops 4, right?
Yeah, there's a bunch of 2Ks, pro downs before, all online, but it's the first LAN tournament.
Okay.
So, spoiler alert, if you didn't know, Optic Gaming won.
I literally was about to say, spoiler warning, before you start talking, it's out there. It's in the open. Breaking news.
If you didn't know by now, well, YouTube is pretty popular. It's everywhere.
It's true.
But, yeah, I mean, to be honest, the arena looked amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that.
Yeah.
Stage looked fine. I know there was a lot of... First of all, I say this. I actually want to go to an event so bad.
So do
experience
I.
it live.
So do I.
Optic Gaming came out with... Well, it's like Mountain Dew came out with, what is it, like Game Plan or something? I don't know.
Are you talking Game Fuel?
Game Fuel, there you go.
Game Fuel has existed for years, but now they're
Game
suddenly
Fuel?
like making it into their thing. Game Fuel has always been a thing.
Now it's back then.
Okay.
So Optic had a sponsor with it, so the tryings for it and everything, like you could be able to taste it there for the first time before it hits the stores. So that was
tastes
cool.
like green.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, there was blue, there was red, yellow. I don't know.
Look, Mountain Dew is just strictly color at this point. It's like Gatorade. It's just colors. There are no flavors anymore.
Oh, yeah. Gatorade has no flavors. Yeah, I guess so.
Exactly. I'm drinking light blue right now.
Now, since I watched a lot of Call of Duty tournaments, even before World War II last year, and World War II is your first year, how is this game compared to World War II for you?
Well, I mean, I'll put it this way. To answer your question, it's a lot faster. It's far faster than the way World War II looked to me as a viewer. Not as a slight, but the pacing feels faster. It feels a lot more tense just because there's constantly action going on. So that, as a viewer, is interesting to me. As a, I guess, player who is interested in getting a little better at Call of Duty, nowhere near competitive, but just getting better at gun skills and things like that, it does kind of just bring back that energy level of when I used to play Halo. Just there's constant action going on. You need to be on your guard, things of that nature. So from that perspective, this game really ramps things up compared to how World War II was, particularly when you look at modes like Hardpoint, where I feel like Hardpoints weren't as action-packed in World War II, or at least when you're watching it. But when I would look at these Hardpoints and look through the entire weekend, there was always action. And there was always... You were guaranteed at least a couple close matches during the course of the day where you're just kind of like on the edge of your seat of, are they going to finish this out and get to 250? Is the comeback underway? Things like that. And of course, we saw that on Sunday especially, and Saturday too, but Sunday especially with Optic, particularly in their hardpoint play.
Seaside.
Don't you not like Seaside?
I hate Seaside, but they made me love it.
So for you, as a more experienced player, what are some of the takeaways now that we have one open under our belt, have a little gap between now and the next event? What are some of your takeaways? What are some things that you've gleaned from this first open? What did you see that looked interesting, that caught your eye, something you didn't expect, stuff like that?
First off, Codcaster. This Codcaster has to go.
It's
It
not
is
good.
Ugly.
I have bad
actually,
vision.
no,
I
it's
can't
not.
read it. There are minor issues with it.
It's not ugly. It
Yeah.
looks nice, but if you watch any video of it, you have to squint to see the kills and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And it's like, I don't. By the time, like realistically, by the time you look at one side, because this is the first time it's on the left and right side. So
Mhm.
realistically, by the time you look at the right side, when you look at the left side, it's gonna be like different. Like it's just gonna be like a minute difference. So it's really not gonna be the same. And
Because last
I don't-
year, if I'm not mistaken, it was done in
All
such a way that I
years.
was like, yeah. So like it was a column of like a column with each team and whatever.
that's how it's
This
always
is
been.
like across the screen. So yeah, it was a little. They're trying to convey a lot of information in a small space, which when you do that, something's going to suffer.
I know, like they were trying to make it look nice.
Yeah, which
Don't
it
get me wrong,
does.
it did, but there was a lot going on.
Oh yeah,
And,
absolutely.
You had the 2 rings for the specialist and other one. I don't know whatever it's called. The right bumper,
Right.
the grenade or whatever. Your
Mhm.
special use. I don't special gear. That's what I think it is.
Yeah,
But so you have the 2 rings for that. Then you have the 3 diamonds, which was for streaks. Which, to be honest, could have made it so much smaller.
right.
And it bumped up the number, the font for not the font, the size for the numbers.
Yeah,
It was a lot. It was a lot. Don't get me wrong, it looked nice, but sometimes
looked
looking
nice.
nice doesn't really mean good.
right. I mean, when you're trying to convey a lot of information on the screen at the same time, I think you run into that issue. And last year we didn't have to but we didn't have a situation where we're trying to convey information about specialists and maybe their special gear on the screen. Now we do, so maybe they need to maybe think of a different way to, I guess, convey that information.
Well, they could have made the pictures of the people smaller too, so you add
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I don't think the 3 diamonds for the streaks need to be that big.
I didn't
They
think so
could
either.
be little small circles.
Right.
But that's just my opinion.
Right.
I think that all the teams picked the right specialist. To be
Mm-hmm.
honest, I know that Zero just came out, but under Scumpy or Scump, really, that's how he goes now. He said Zero's got to go. Now, will we see Zero be played in the next tournament? Probably not. I don't think so because to be honest, like as a competitive person, it doesn't seem like a competitive thing.
Right.
But I'm glad that nobody's using like. What? Oh yeah. So Mike played the game for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Runs right in front of the barricade.
I didn't
Didn't
know.
that there was
Jesus
a force
Christ!
field
I
type thing. And
Alright. This fool wants to
Yeah.
throw me on the bus.
you want to enlighten us what happened?
I got frozen in place and I think I died. I don't know what happened. So, all right. When I started playing the game, I went through and did a couple of the specialist training, just kind of learned about it because I've never played a Black Ops game. So this was all kind of new to me. So I just thought I'd stay offline and just kind of learn. So I decided to go online and not online, just do some local play and play against bots to just continue to get myself kind of ingratiated with the game. So I run by this barricade, not really knowing what it is. I'm like, oh, it's a barricade. That's a bad thing. I'm going to go away from it. But then I can't move. And I think I died. And I was just like, what the hell happened? And this guy over here, Mr. Throw Me Under the Bus,
Hey,
you sat there and laughed at me when I didn't know that there was a force field there. You're like, yeah, there's a force field. Like, I can't see it. I was like, well, it's invisible. I'm like,
it's not
and-
invisible.
I did not notice the wavy things. I'm sorry. I didn't notice the lines that come off food coming from the damn thing. What do you expect out of me? Now I
I don't
know.
It
Now
was
I know.
Hilarious. Would you say though you got stuck with the you got stuck with the razor wire too or something like that?
I didn't get stuck on the razor wire. I can
Okay.
avoid that. I'm not that stupid.
Oh, just gotta make sure, man.
Thank you.
Walked right
Very
into,
kind.
food or whatever you just said.
Again, it was invisible. I couldn't see it because I was worried about not dying to bots.
Oh, that was hilarious. This is actually not even it's the first Black Ops game. It's the first game that has specialists that you're playing too.
Oh, great.
Well,
I mean, I like the specialists.
IW had specialists as well. Not really good ones though.
Oh, well. I mean, I
Well,
like
I
the
didn't like-
specialists. They're fun. I like oh my gosh. I like
Prophet?
I like Prophet and
Battery.
Battery. Those are the two I like the most.
Yeah.
That's about
Ruin's
it.
fun to play with.
I don't think
just
I've used
'cause you-
Ruin yet.
Just because you got the grappling hook, so you can keep going
I
far.
did use Ruin. That was fun.
Yeah.
I then
Or
also
if
got
you-
nauseous after doing that.
If you use the grappling hook and then use the grab slam right after, that is fun too.
It took me a few tries to get that right under the practice mode, but I got it down eventually. So kind of going back over the tournament, what surprised you the most about the tournament? Maybe team play. Like, were there any teams that like you were surprised not to see progressing well through the
100
tournament?
Thieves.
I was very
By
surprised about that
far.
actually.
100 Thieves.
Hmm.
There's no question. I mean, they were doing so good in the tournaments, and what they get top 12 or something like that,
Yeah.
and they just look terrible. Like, and that so I was watching an interview of Kenny,
Hmm.
and he was like, map 2 and 3 were good at. He's like, we're the number one on. He's like, I think we're the number one on control, but he's like, we have to figure out what we're doing wrong on hardpoint.
Right.
And I'm just like, I'm sitting there and I'm watching it. And I'm like, rotate, and I'm just like, oh, I guess they don't know how to move. It literally was like they forgot how to play hardpoint, and there was multiple games where they were down like 20 to 180, and I'm like, yeah, they're
Wow.
done. I just don't get it. Like, you get 20 points or like even like 40, it's whatever, but it's just I don't know. They need to go back and figure out how to play. And then what else? Who else? Splice actually surprised me, to be honest, on how good they played. Not how bad, how good they played.
Right.
They caused I don't know. I can't even think of the word I wanted to say. They were just causing. I don't know. It's just not hitting my brain right now. But
I can tell.
they were
You were
causing
saying-
havoc. There we go. Couldn't think of it, but I got it. See
Okay,
it clutch with the
cool.
word. But anyway, they were causing havoc with Optic. I mean, like you saw they would go down 2-0,
Mm-hmm.
and then they made a reverse sweep, which surprisingly, to be honest, we were at an Xbox party at the time this happened,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, Optic lost. There's no way they won this. They were down like
You said that a few
100
times.
they were down 100 points. You think I'm gonna say maybe even more? It was like 244 to like 152 or some shit like that. Oh, sorry. Nah.
What? Sorry, what?
Oh no, I cursed, man. I can't be doing that.
Sorry, I already did it like 3 times. Relax. Demonetized.
Yeah. But then to be honest, then they're up to like 247. I'm like, there's no way that they can't get 3 points.
Right.
But your boy, Crim6, comes up huge with a 4-piece at the end of the game. So, there's that. And then they did it back to back right after the E United. So it's like the composure on that is simply outmatched. Nobody can match with them. I can't even say they were unbeatable because they were.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Like I said, the composure and to play with like two new teammates. You didn't know how they were gonna do, especially since they're really young. I think both of them are 19.
Right.
So, But yeah, Splice surprised me, and United didn't really surprise me because they were doing good in tournaments as well. I'm just surprised that Luminosity decided to get rid of JCap and get Classic because JCap's way better than Classic by far. Not even in gun skill. I'm not talking about gun skill. As like a mental player, JCap's way better.
Right.
Plus, he's a 2-time champion, and Classic isn't. So there's that. But yeah, I mean, like I said about the specialist, you got your fair share onto the play of the game, so you know how annoying it is to play against some of these specialists. I guess.
Right. I mean, yeah, I obviously haven't played online yet. I'm kind of waiting to get a little more reaccustomed to the game itself before I decide to go and play online again. But I can see like which specialists are kind of all right to kind of go up against, and others where you're just kind of like, well, here we are, whatever. Like, is it Battery with the War Machine?
Yeah.
That one I'm just kind of like, well, this is where I am now. Because when I get hit by the bomb, it's just like, well, okay, cool. Well, the grenade. I'm like, cool, thanks. You just kind of accept your fate.
By far, the worst one is 9-bang. You can't do anything. You get 9-bang, just respawn because you're dead.
Accept your fate.
Yeah. Or what you got to do is just spray and pray. Because sometimes if they're not good, you get a kill. It happens sometimes, but rare. It's rare.
Everyone watching this episode, be happy you don't have to listen to Corey complain when he gets 9-banged, because it's consistent and he's just so frustrated when it happens. It's just, I always laugh because I can hear the frustration. I'm like, yeah, he just got 9-banged again. I'm waiting for it.
I only rage a little bit.
But it's almost every time.
Hey.
It's just like, stupid 9-bang. I'm like, there it is.
Oh, you get 9-bang like 5 times in one game. Oh my god! Or like you're on a high streak, got 9-bang. Ugh.
So to kind of wrap things up with the tournament, so we're already seeing that having these 5-person teams, unlike what we had last year with 4, really changing the dynamic of the games we're seeing for every game type.
Yeah, I like it a lot, to be honest. It's constant action.
Yeah.
There's not a downtime.
Right.
Like it's like, don't get me wrong, it's not fast. Like not that I was used to, but like my first competitive Call of Duty was Black Ops 3.
Right.
Now if you want to talk fast, that's fast.
Yeah.
So like, but like coming off the year of World War II, yeah, it's insanely fast. But yeah, 5v5 adds so much more action, which is great. Different. I'm glad that they went with some of the specialists that they went with. Like War Machine would have never been allowed in Black Ops 3.
Mm-hmm.
All the other ones are like a reasonable one, but War Machine was not. This Tempest, I don't know what it is with this Tempest. I love it more than Black Ops 3 one. Yes, the Black Ops 3 one killed him immediately, but I don't know. The design, the I don't know, just the look of it, just it looks simply amazing. And to be honest, like I just want to use it because the way Dashy was like,
I was gonna say
on people.
The way watching some competitive players use that weapon, Dashy particularly, just really sold that good. It was great watching that. Like that was just great esports viewing right there. Just seeing those moments during that tournament.
Well, he's Bruce.
Okay.
So he's got to put up the good numbers.
Of course.
He's the hard carry. But yeah, I mean, what I say to you like immediately after the tournament happened, I said this is going to be a great year for Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, I don't know, just watching that. Watching that tournament was fun.
Those
comebacks were fun. I mean, you gave me like about 8 heart attacks, and but
I mean, it's like I said. I feel like there's more action in these tournaments, and I don't like using the phrase "it's more balanced" because that implies that the game has been adjusted to make it more whatever and make it, I guess you could say, more fair or whatever. No, that's not what I mean. What I mean is the way the game flows. It just feels like there's ebbs and flows to the action. It can start swinging for one side or it could go for the other side. And of course, you have your matches that are just completely one-sided. But like we saw when Optic went up against E United, you saw the comebacks and you saw teams be rewarded for being able to string together a strong performance during the stage of a match to be able to bring themselves back out of a hole. So I feel like this game, for some reason, more than World War II, does reward players for being able to get their swing back and kind of get back flowing to be able to create a rally to be able to try and come back. That's just how I saw it kind of watching. I don't know if that's the vibe you got, but it does feel a little more like a game where you can make the tide turn in your favor easier.
I do think that the game is going to get, by the next tournament, I do think the game's going to be a little bit more balanced.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I say is because Treyarch themselves didn't even really know what the rule set was going to be.
Right.
They came out with a version, and then they switched it, and then they switched it. They just never knew what the definite version was. And they even said that, like, not that they said it, but, like, it was, like, shown that Vegas was the test.
Right.
Oh, how is this going to go? So, you know, we'll see how it's going to go, but I think it'll be a lot more balanced. I think January 28th is the qualifier for Stage 1, which is the 28 teams left of the top 32, because the top 4 already qualified.
Right.
And
And those are your Optic, E-United Splice, and Luminosity.
Yeah. So I think it'll be a lot more balanced by then, and it'll be a lot more definite on what's going to be there and the rule set and everything.
Right.
And maybe they'll do, like, update on guns by then. I don't know. I like it the way it is right now. If they could not change anything, that would be awesome.
But you have to change things.
No. The SOG is phenomenal, and let's keep it that way. But maybe they'll change spawns. That's the only thing I could think of, is that spawns would be changed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe they'll know of something else. I don't know. You know,
Right.
That's them. But yeah, I think it'll just be a lot smoother. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's smooth a lot now, but
Right. Before we go, question: what did you think about the map selection for, like, our competitive maps for this tournament?
this is what I wanted to say. Just like last year, how they put an extra map in. What was it? I can't even think of what it was. The extra map from DLC map last year, whatever.
Valkyrie.
There we go.
Look at your boy.
Look at you. You know more than me now. So they added that last year. I do truly think that I'm going to make a projection that they add one more from the DLC this year.
Okay.
But I want to say there might, I don't know. It's just telling me that there might be a second one.
Okay.
I don't know. I just wish they had a bigger map pool.
Mm-hmm. Because right now
Sometimes
it's what? Arsenal, Frequency,
there's
Seaside.
Payload Search, but like it was played like twice
Oh, okay.
the entire tournament. I guess people just don't like it.
Right.
You know, it's Hacienda,
Hacienda is what I was forgetting.
Seaside. Can't think of
That's
all
where,
of them off the top of my
what did
head.
I call the car the first time I went there? The Porsche?
Oh yeah,
that's,
Porsche.
That's
Porsche
the
Hill.
Lambo.
Let's
That's
go to
not
Porsche
correct.
Hill. I was like,
that's
what's
not
Porsche? He
correct.
goes, the car. I was
The
like,
car.
Lambo? Oh, the Lambo.
God damn it.
Lambo.
I suck. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, so I do think one. I have a high possibility. I think that there is going to be one.
Okay.
But hey, I'd like to see two.
Okay.
You never know.
Well, I guess we'll see. And there's no timetable for like ranked or competitive play coming to Black Ops 4 itself, right?
Oh, I was seeing Twitter said early 2019
Okay.
or January 2019, whatever it was. We'll see.
Yeah.
I want it now though. Like,
Well, of
come
course.
on. Get me out of these pubs and get me in
Of course.
competitive, please.
Oh my gosh. Of course. Of
But
course.
that's just. I want some league play.
I got you. Well, that was fun. A lot has gone on in like the month that we between these podcasts. Like a lot has gone on. We got big games coming out, and we had the Game Awards, which kind of snuck up on me because I was just like, "Huh, all right, cool." And then I looked at my phone, and it's like Game Awards tonight. I'm like, "Oh, whoops, hello." So that's why I was kind of like, "Let's wait on the podcast and let's get these out of the way so we can really digest those and be able to talk about them for a bit." So I think this was a productive episode. A lot happened.
Just think, next podcast I will have my Switch. I will play all those games, and
Yes.
I could put my perspective into it.
I look forward to hearing it. And I think maybe we'll talk about some of like our favorite moments from the year and kind of some of our favorite games, maybe some news that happened over the year that was kind of interesting and everything, and kind of just reflect on 2018 as we get ready to go into 19 in the slow period of gaming as nothing comes out until like the spring.
Happy
The fun
New Year.
time. Yes, and with that, definitely thanks for watching, and hope you have a wonderful holiday season and have an awesome start to the year. Like I said, we'll be back in January with some more time in these games. Corey, you'll still be playing Red Dead and doing other stuff here on the channel.
I'm getting Hitman soon.
Okay, cool.
Soon.
And
then Elusive Target's coming. Yep.
I already
watch
did
out for that.
one, so I already did one. You gotta do them now. I don't know if you can do it for a video. I just kind of did it just to see if I could do it. It's a
I
very
don't know, see how
tense.
it go.
It was a tense 45 minutes.
I might do the first one by myself, and then
Okay.
after that, videos for it. I don't know. I'll see how I feel.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I bought Hitman, and I bought it, and the week that I bought it, I sat down to play it on like a Sunday morning, and I was like, I wonder what this is gonna be like. And it was like Elusive Target. And I go, all right, I want to do this, and it was just reading the menus. I probably read it wrong because I was able to do it over, but they're like, once you try and do it, you can't leave and try and do it again. It's like, oh god, I only get one shot. It was so tense, but it was so fun. Just like really trying to be methodical, and
If you save,
it worked out.
If you save, you could do it again, but you can't. You gotta like
This
you gotta
sounds
hit start
complicated.
and reload your save before you die. But once you kill the person,
Mhm.
you can't go back. You're done. You have to get out.
Okay, maybe that's what they meant. So once
Yeah.
I completed the mission, I can't just go back and do it again like a regular story mission.
Yeah, no, it's once you kill the
Okay.
player, you have to get out, and if you don't get out, you can't do it again.
Okay. Yeah, well, I did, and that was fun. So I highly enjoyed it.
I did.
I like slapping people about the head and the face with a fish. That was fun. Highly enjoyed that.
Like do some karate chop.
No. I just stick to the fish, and then I throw them in a crate. I'm just like, good enough. On my channel, it's soup. I'm gonna finish up. I'm gonna keep playing through Pokemon Soul Silver and Let's Go Pikachu. Even though I said that I have finished recording the episodes, we are pretty early in the playthrough. So if you suffered through the first 4 episodes, thank you, and I'm sorry. They'll get better from episode 5 going forward. So I think as of me recording this, the next episode that'll come out, we'll be getting ready to go get our second badge. So head over to the channel and check that out as well.
Yeah, Mike said he's like, I can't wait for the 5th episode to come out. So
Yeah, because all the
There's that.
trash goes away. So, like, I think I said it on my episode. I was just like, I recorded 4 episodes the night the game came out. And maybe it was just, like, exhaustion from staying up 24 hours the day before or something. But I was just, like, drunk with nostalgia and didn't play the game right. And once I came down from that exhaustion and stupidity, I realized, man, my team is weak. We are screwed. So Mike put his gamer hat on and got to work. So we'll be
Did you turn
playing
it
through that
backwards?
game. Huh?
did you turn it backwards?
Yes, once I started recording, of course.
Oh, okay.
That's true
As long
gamer.
as you do that.
That's gamer style. So that's gonna be good. I'm looking forward to that series going on as well, and might do some fun stuff down the road, maybe with Smash or something. But just kind of playing it by ear, you know. But with that, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it up because I want to go play Smash.
Yeah, and I want to play more Call of Duty. Have a great holiday, guys. Remember, be smart. Don't drink and drive, especially on New Year's. Well, New Year's Eve, really.
Yes.
So have a good holiday, and for that, we'll see you guys in the next one. Oh, please give a like, comment, subscribe. Can't forget that.
Yeah.
so
Let's not get out of here without saying that cliche thing.
it happens, man. Gotta say it. All right, we'll see you guys in the next podcast.
We'll see you in 2019, guys.